Hey guys, before we get into this episode, I know that you love listening to Judge by the Cover on all your favorite podcast platforms, but did you know that we are also on YouTube with full video? That's right, you can check out the full video, and that way you can see the album covers as me and Phil talk about them. If we have a physical one, you're going to see it as we talk about it on the podcast, or if it's something where I have to bring in the digital content, I will put it on the screen so you can see all of that while you listen along. And if YouTube's not your thing or you don't like watching video, keep going to your favorite podcast platforms and checking it out there, but then go to jwcreates.com/notes. You can find a blog post that is associated with this episode, and you can check out all the digital content there. So we'd love it if you came and checked us out on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search for Judge by the Cover, hit the like, subscribe, the bell, all the stuff. That way you can stay in touch with your favorite podcast, the Judge by the Cover podcast. Now, let's get to that episode. Have you heard the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover? But that's what people do, right? We judge everything by outward appearances. In my experience, a great album cover can make or break the decision on whether I buy an album. So go on a journey with me as we look at some great album cover designs and talk about why I believe that you need a personal designer for your album artwork. This is Judged by the Cover. Hey guys, welcome back to the Judged by the Cover podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Phil.
And we had an eventful weekend. We went down to Yellow Racket Records to hang out for a bit and just check out the chaos that is Record Store Day. We were slightly underprepared for how busy and crazy it was going to be. But it was awesome. It was awesome to see people like waiting in line to get physical copies of all these albums.
Yeah.
And we just got to talk to a few people and just like, hey, what are you getting? What are you excited about? And it was just cool just hearing, people talk about some of these artists who like, we're like, who is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was a cool experience. We have plans for next year.
Definitely.
I did pick up one Record Store Day release. I picked up this cool Blackstone Cherry. Really excited to check it out. Haven't listened to it yet. But
Interesting cover choice.
yes. And, I'm sure one day we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I think on Record Store Day, that's probably the only day that you get away with something like this, right?
I think so. And look, if you like the band, you love the band, or do you like the band?
I like the band.
Mm-hmm.
Strong like, let's say.
Yeah. That for me, it would be a love. Like if that was a band I was like crazy for,
Yeah.
that's a must have for sure. I mean, I get it too. Maybe you're gonna maybe this is gonna make you love it.
Yeah, who knows?
But it's one of those kind of odd, like, wow, that's it's a novelty in a way.
It is.
I hope it's a great album.
Yeah. I don't know. Pretty excited to check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, questionable choice on the cover.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I still want to see the band. It's like I always want to see something about the band.
Man, I was telling Phil, I saw Blackstone Cherry in Chattanooga. This was like post-COVID, like fresh off of COVID, and the tickets were $11 a piece.
That's my price, baby. All day long.
All day long. It was awesome.
How come you didn't ask me to go with you?
I don't know.
Who'd you take? Tell me. Who was
Michael Walker.
Oh, that guy? That guy's a hack.
Shout out Michael Walker.
You know I love Michael Walker.
That's our boy.
Yeah.
So we're not here to talk about Record Store Day necessarily. We are actually going to be doing music discovery.
Which I love, which is kind of like a Record Store Day dovetail.
Yeah, exactly. So this was probably my favorite episode that we did last year, was the first one of these. Discovered a band that I fell in love with, and actually, it's right over Phil's head, that one there.
Yeah.
Dangerous Summer,
like
Coming Home.
I really like that band.
So it was a really fun exercise, and for those that haven't seen this before, what I did is I went to the record store and I just started sifting through bins, and I picked up 3 records. I don't know the bands. I'll tell y'all kind of what my thought process was and why I picked out these albums.
Right.
But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna let Phil look at these for the first time, and he's gonna pick out his favorite. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick pause. We're going to listen to a few of the songs from the record, do a quick Google search to see who the heck this is.
Oh, wow.
And then we're going to come back and report back and just yeah, let you know, was it you know, was it like, hey, this is our new favorite band, or is it I know why it was in the $10 bin?
May I ask, like, what record store did you go to?
So these actually came from For the Record, Northgate Mall.
Oh, yeah.
That was just a really fun one to dig through bins because they
Yeah.
don't have just like your standard like classic rock and
It's
like
kind of
old country and stuff.
mismatched stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they don't even know where some of the stuff is,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
like. That's cool because you
And,
took me there once.
Yeah, and they've got a cool area where they have like records that just came in, and it's like it's a smorgasbord.
It's like Goodwill, kind of like
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of these are like that one. I'm pretty sure that was like a brand new record. I don't even know if it had been open, but it was in kind of that same area. So
I did like that place when you took me there because it was kind of like true discovery. Like, oh man, I might be able to find some sweet deals here.
mm-hmm.
And I did ask her because I was looking for something specific. I look for movies too, and she's like, "Doubt I have that, but don't know." I'm like, "That's awesome," because a lot of times now, everyone's so inventoried. They just like they know what they've got.
Yeah, there's definitely stuff in that store that they probably forgot that they. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to do these one at a time. I'm going to hand them over to Phil, and he can say, yes, no. We'll put it in the center. We'll move on to the next one.
Okay.
So, Phil, this is the first one.
Don't show me the second one. Here, I'll look over here. Cool, man. Can I say like the title and stuff?
Yeah.
Outlaws. Can I show them the cover?
Yeah.
Outlaws. Oh, they're some dudes, man. They look like they're from the 70s. Arista Records. Yep. Know that label.
Yeah, so I picked this one up mainly because of this really cool outlaw graphic.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I'm like, I kind of like some outlaw country. I don't know what outlaw country sounds like, and it may not even be outlaw country from the 70s. I don't know, but that was pick number 1.
Yeah.
Pick number 2 is coming over to Phil.
Dalton and Dubari? What fresh hell is this? But I think we're going to love this one. Holy crap.
Whenever you're ready. You
Dude, whenever I'm ready right now for these guys. Look at this. Can y'all see that? Dude in a top hat, black and white top hats, and a motorcycle, and like an observatory. They're somewhere like, they're like, let's go out to San Gabriel up on the mountains and find some kind of observatory.
And then a bunch of random like trophies that don't even look like you would think these guys are standing next to a motorcycle. Maybe it's supposed to be like for like a car motorcycle show thing, but no, they're just kind of like random trophies.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
Wow.
And then this one is option number 3.
It's interesting. Boy, look at like Who. It's Hard vibes. The Who came out with an album that was very about arcade games. This was not Tommy era. It was after the Who's Tommy, but it was all about like playing like, you know, the arcade games like from my era in the 80s, you know, like Defender and all these games. So it looks like this guy is kind of like in that era. I don't know if it's the 80s, but interesting. Very interesting. I'm curious to hear what that music sounds like. Yeah.
To me, this just screamed 80s.
I'm curious about all 3
and like,
sonically how they are.
To me, this almost, and again, I don't know anything about these. To me, this one was like, it felt almost like it was a newer record that was trying to have like an 80s vibe.
Yeah. I could see that.
Was the way it looked to me. Now, maybe not much so. I'd have to look at like when did this come out and stuff like that, but that's why I picked them out. So, Phil, you've seen the 3.
Yeah.
Which one is screaming out to you?
Which one is screaming out to me?
Which one are we going to go? We're going to dive into.
I'd like to hear Outlaws.
Outlaws? All right. So, Outlaws it is. So, there we go.
I do want to hear these guys, though, Dalton and Dubari.
Now, I will say, if you are interested in knowing like what these other ones sound like and look like and get the behind the scenes story on some of this stuff, let us know. Send us a message on Instagram or Facebook. That's at @JDubCreates. You can also send me an email, info@jwcreates.com. Or if you're on YouTube, just get in the comments and let us know. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. You're going to hear from a couple of sponsors of today's show, and then we'll be back to talk about Outlaws.
Love it. I can't wait.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Judged by the Cover is brought to you by JW Creates. JW Creates is your local graphic design source that specializes in cover art, logos, and websites for bands, musicians, podcasters, small business, and solo entrepreneurs. I love to hear your story and to help bring it to life through the art of graphic design. To learn more and connect with me, go to jwcreates.com, check out my work, and use the form at the bottom to tell me more about your project. Let's work together to bring your story to life through the art of graphic design. All right, and we are back. And Phil, you chose the right album.
Did I? Ding, 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 ding.
You know, it's kind of amazing. Like, I didn't listen to this. I didn't know anything about it. Neither did Phil. But again, as soon as that needle hit and it started playing, it was just like, we were both like, we dig this. Like, this is awesome.
There's a vibe.
Yeah. It was not exactly what I was expecting. I knew it was going to be 70s, kind of the era.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be more like country music, but it actually is more of like a southern country vibe. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And you know what, with the other two album covers, the one with the motorcycle and the guys in the top hat, they're just too like weird. I'm like, I don't know if I'm in that kind of mood yet to like put that thing on. Like, if I was like that cover, like just whacked out, maybe I'd like, all right, let's play this thing.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I was like, I don't know, they're trying to be like the Who in like 1985.
Yeah, that one I'm actually really curious. Like, what does it actually sound like?
We're going to play that one? Are we going to play it?
Maybe we'll do another one.
Oh, okay. But dude, this Outlaws thing is, I just started following it on Spotify because of you.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, so it's Outlaws. It's not The Outlaws.
But on Spotify, it's The Outlaws.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Which is weird because The Outlaws is a UK rap group. And I think they actually go by Outlaws with a Z. But yeah, so it's Outlaws.
Okay.
They actually started as the 4-letter words was their original band name. It doesn't say, y'all probably can't see this, but Spotify does say The Outlaws. It'd be interesting to see what Apple says, but I don't have time to check it out. So where did these guys come from? So these guys are from Tampa, Florida. They formed, it says that they originally formed in 1967.
Wow. You and I were not even around.
So let me see discography. When did this album right here come out? So this album came out in 1975. Yeah. So that was almost, 8 years between like when they actually formed? And
like I said during the break, right in the liner notes, man. I go right to it. It's right there.
Was it really?
Yeah, 1975.
These guys, let me go back to, so these guys they must still be playing in some form or another. We could talk a little bit about like the history of the band if we want to get down that rabbit hole, but they actually, kind of changed lineups quite a bit for various reasons.
But it's funny, you picked this record. This was their first album.
Yeah.
Like their first proper studio album.
Yeah.
Big album.
And these guys, they were really known for their just like heavy guitar attack is kind of how they how they describe it.
Super tight, like very tight. Like you hear this kind of playing. If you're a guitar player, you're gonna love it.
And 3-part country harmonies.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Full package, man. Full package band.
And they kind of gained their reputation as like a really strong live act. Touring for bands like the Allman Brothers, Lynyrd Skynyrd, the Marshall Tucker Band, Charlie Daniels Band. So,
huge.
Like, if you know, like, what those bands sound like, these guys fit right in. They kind of just fit in that pocket. Yep. They also went out with the Who, Eagles, the Rolling Stones. So these guys kind of, they rode that line of that country, like they could fit into that country world, but they could also fit in the rock world. It's kind of that perfect mesh of Southern rock.
And it's funny, you said that some of the songs that we played were familiar to you.
Yeah. I swear the first song on the album, I mean, I almost can guarantee I've heard it. It's called There Goes Another Love Song. I feel like I've heard that on classic rock radio or southern rock radio. And then probably their most notable song, at least from what we saw on Spotify, it's the last track on this album, Green Grass and High Tides.
Which was a side 2 back in the day, which is funny.
Yep. And what's really funny, I kept just thinking that this song is their Freebird.
Yeah, 100%.
If you know Freebird, Lynyrd Skynyrd, you can put together.
We were rocking out listening to that song. I just posted on my Instagram story too. I was like, dang, this thing is ripping.
It's just ripping guitars.
And it goes on forever. We had to go over to the turntable and look how thick the band was on the turntable. This song's like that thick. I was like, this thing's going for another 10 minutes.
And it's the last song on the album, which is wild to me.
Yeah, and side 2. So it's a total B-side, right?
And it just rips. I don't know, man.
And is that a choice? The most popular.
Is that a choice to have it be the last song?
It got me in that zone, man.
Yeah. So this thing it's a fun record to listen to. We didn't listen to all the songs. We listened to a couple of them on the front side.
Knoxville Girl. We had to play Knoxville Girl.
Knoxville Girl was pretty good. It's just a solid, fun, kind of just backyard garage party music.
Feel good party music.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some cool things. So these guys, they got signed to Arista Records, and they were actually the first act signed by Clive Davis.
The man.
And it was at the strong urging of Ronnie Van Zant.
Yeah.
Is who really appealed to him to sign these guys.
What a guy to be like, hey, man, these are my boys. What do you think about signing them as your first act? And do you know the story of Arista?
I don't.
You say Arista, I say you say Arista, I say Arista. But it's that's the home of Whitney Houston. That's the label that Whitney Houston really made.
She was the reason why they kind of blew up.
So I think he kind of, it's interesting. He had this as his first signed act, very much like Lynyrd Skynyrd, and then his label wound up being really known for the heavy R&B, which is cool. It's interesting.
That's quite the trajectory. Southern rock R&B.
Yeah, but it seems like Clive Davis was all about, and I've watched biopics on him because I'm very curious, and I've got my own Arista story. But I'm curious. He's a music lover. The guy was just going for the talent.
Yeah. Regardless of who they were.
Yeah, regardless of who they were. If they were a really great act, he was like, man, I want to check them out. And it's interesting on this album in the liner notes, Clive actually writes a paragraph saying yeah, man, I saw these guys in Macon, Georgia at a club and they're super tight and they're killing it. And I know and at the urging of Ronnie Van Zant, I know that these guys are going to have a great, prosperous future. They're my first signing on the label. That's pretty cool to be Clive's first pick. That guy's legend.
Yeah.
In the industry.
Yeah. Come on. I just had to take a quick look at, what'd you say? It's Arista or Arista?
I say Arista, but Arista. What do I know? I don't know. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. The way I pronounce stuff and I hear stuff, it's all messed up.
So they signed Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
That's a notable sign.
Yeah.
Some other artists.
Whitney, of course.
Yeah. Ace of Base.
Avril
Lavigne.
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin. We're just in the A's. Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's just see.
That's all you gotta say is Aretha.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow. Dang, this is
who else? Name some more. I want to see. If I know them.
Let's see. CeeLo.
Oh, huge.
Sierra.
Yeah, Sierra's big too.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I recognize. There's a bunch of names.
See, a lot of that's R&B.
Strong
R&B.
Diamond Rio.
Oh, they're good. I like Diamond Rio.
Oh god,
their song "One More Day" good,
dude. And I guess,
well, they must have a Nashville label.
They do. It says Arista.
Well, I didn't want to
Nashville.
I didn't want to interrupt you. What were you gonna say about Diamond Rio?
No,
because Diamond Rio is darn good.
Yeah, I've heard that live. Those guys are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Even now, even to this day, they are still rock solid.
Yeah, they got big hits. They're big act,
dude. I only made it to the E's.
Come on, give me one more.
Let's see. Sorry,
pick a cool name. Let me see if I know it. I'm just curious.
Let's see.
Because this guy was doing hits. Babyface, right?
Foreigner.
What? Is Babyface on there? Go to the Bees real quick.
I want to say yes.
Because if Babyface is on there,
Babyface.
Because he wrote for everybody. See, there you go. He did Babyface, and then Babyface writes for everybody. He was like the hitmaker. He was like the Prince, the next generation.
Oh, really?
Prince, yeah.
Huh. And you've got a really cool connection to this record label too, right?
I do. It's so funny. Like my band Girlfriend, we were putting out demos on cassette, and we got a call, and somehow this cassette wound up in Canada, and we got a call from Arista Records in Canada. This guy named David Bendith, who was working up there. And he's like, yeah, we'd like to meet with you. I think Robin and I had been together doing the band for like 6 months. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just nuts. So like, okay. And we knew it. I mean, that's a big label then. This is like 1990, probably like 94. And to get called into and we're an indie act in New York City. We're like playing at, clubs in the Lower East Village. Like,
Yeah.
We ain't doing no Arista Records stuff. So we went, we had this, meeting with, the guy in Canada was on the phone, and we were talking to their A&R person in the office. And it was just cool to have that, I remember Robin and I like going downtown and cruising in the office, and you could walk in, and it's like, it's like a shrine or something. It's cool. And I think, Whitney was already huge.
Yeah.
So you go in there, man, that's like the house of Whitney Houston at that point. I'm like, well, that's interesting. We're rolling in, this little indie act Girlfriend's rolling into Arista, but it was just cool to have those little moments. We did not get signed to Arista Records. That's okay. They wanted to take one of our songs and the gal was trying to tell us how to rewrite it so it'd be more like R&B, but I'm like, but we're like a white indie act.
We're not R&B.
Yeah, right. But anyway, it was cool. It was cool. It was a fun story. It was a great day.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that when I picked up this record, and I was even just pointing this out to Phil, $6.95.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that there would be that tie to a record label that almost signed Phil.
Yeah.
That this was a band that was known for opening up for like Lynyrd Skynyrd and the Eagles and stuff like that. And that I would even recognize any of the songs on this album.
Yeah.
And just overall, it was just, it's just like, it makes me excited to actually go back and listen to the rest of the record.
Moods. We were jamming out to it. I want to go back. I like hearing it on your turntable. I'll listen to it on Spotify, but you can't beat having it on the turntable. There's something cool about that.
Yeah,
the needle drop.
Yeah, 100%. There's just life to it.
Yeah,
that's something that we talked about a few times on
and
here, but
it's more fun listening with a buddy because we're listening during that last song, "Green Grass and High Tides," and we're like, dude, this guy's just ripping, and then it goes to the next player, and then he's probably like, okay, now it's your turn, and then the other guy starts ripping.
And even the intro of that song, it almost has a sound and a feel it almost could be a Metallica song.
Yeah, there was that
kind of that grunge, it almost wanted to be just turn up the distortion, and it could have been a Metallica. God, what's the name of that big song? Metallica's
Sandman.
Unforgiven, or The Unforgiven, something like that. Anyway,
we're not real Metallica fans. We can't just
not big time Metallica.
Enter
fans.
Sandman. Right?
That's one of them. So yeah,
sorry, Metallica fans, we suck.
Help us out. Drop it in the comments. Help a brother out. We're struggling.
You can't know everything. That's why it's kind of like music discovery, album art, design. Come on, no one person knows everything except for maybe Anthony DeCurtis. He was some famous New York rock critic.
Oh, really?
Guy knows everything.
Interesting.
We're not that guy.
No, we're not. But what we are a podcast that talks about cover art. So I talked about this briefly in the kind of the intro when I was showing Phil these records. But some of the reasons why I picked this up, so we'll just talk about the cover art. The main thing is this Outlaws logo with the Longhorn outline going around it. Just a really cool logo, in my opinion. I am a Texas Longhorn fan, so I kind of like that Longhorn shape just in general. But for those of you that are listening and not watching and can't see this thing, there's color-wise, it's very brown.
Yeah.
Very monocolor for a lot of it. It is kind of a depiction. It almost is probably like the side of a church building, would you
Yeah,
say?
old wood slatted house, almost like you'd
Mhm.
see in an old Western.
Exactly, yeah.
Whitewashed.
And then we've got kind of a porch with some steps going up. You got these kind of creepy looking kids standing in front of this cool door with some stained glass, and the stained glass on the door um, has really the only color, and I don't even know if that you could say that it's got a lot of color in it, but it's kind of a centerpiece. It kind of your eyes are drawn to it. But yeah, it's just kind of browns and tans. Side of a house with this cool Outlaws logo. It just stood out to me. I like that logo. I was just like, I don't know what outlaw country music would sound like from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
It's Southern rock.
It's Southern rock. And it's good.
Is the answer.
It's good.
Do you have any other thoughts on the cover itself?
I like there was something to it with the slats, just the it was evocative of it's almost got like a Led Zeppelin vibe. What's that Led Zeppelin album where the kids are naked and they're like scrambling up some like
is that on the rocks?
Rock thing?
Yeah.
Slightly inappropriate. I think they actually had to tone it down a little bit. But anyway, it's got like that same colorway. That's color scheme.
Yeah.
It's kind of like sepia.
Yeah. Very similar.
Yeah, so I got that kind of vibe, like almost a Zeppelin vibe. But no, I just think it's interesting that like that's a Clive Davis first signing for Arista Records. It's like, wow. And then that label totally went in a different direction.
We should have looked into the cover artist. So design is credited to Arton Association. Cover art by Janet Major, Mager.
Hey, at least they gave her credit and gave the design house credit, right?
Yeah. And I'm just curious, like there's lots of little bits in here. Like there's this little bird that you almost can't see sitting on the rail. And then there's like this picture of what I'm assuming is a sunrise.
It almost looks like the Sun Records logo in a way. I got a little vibe from that, a little Memphis vibe.
Yeah, so I don't know if some of this imagery like means anything as far as like when it comes to like the songs and stuff like that. If there's anything that kind of ties back to that. But yeah, overall, a really fun exercise in finding something new.
Yeah,
that was very unexpected,
and getting excited about it.
Yeah,
I love that era. Like, I think my daughter would like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds like the stuff I grew up listening to. My dad was a huge fan. I mean, every band that was on that list of people that they toured with, that's the kind of stuff my dad listened to. So it kind of makes me think of growing up, the music I listened to, what was on the radio all the time. Yeah. Yeah, it's just
love it.
Music of a different lifetime.
Go check them out.
Yeah. Yeah, so go check out Outlaws. Ooh, let me pull them up real quick and just see. They have a website, so they're still relevant in some form.
Gotta have a website.
So let's just see. Do they have? Ooh, there's a tab that says tour. Do we have? Oh my gosh!
These guys are touring, man.
April 26th, they are playing in Nashville. 8th annual Freeborn Jam benefit.
What club?
Doesn't say. Let's see if I click.
That's pretty cool.
City Winery, Nashville.
Oh yeah, okay. So a friend of mine has played that City Winery. That's a popular spot. That pops up a lot.
And they're playing May. They've got a show in Florida in Palmetto. They're playing Valley Fest in Tennessee May 3rd.
Oh wow,
dude, these guys they're
out there.
Yeah. Do we got anything close to us? They're in Atlanta, Fox Theater on the 21st of June.
We could hit that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see y'all in Atlanta.
Yeah, so Outlaws. Go check them out. I think this is probably, at least from like the numbers and stuff like that, this is probably their most popular, best album,
major
label.
Album. Yeah.
But yeah, go check them out. Go to their website. It's outlawsmusic.com. Check out their tour. If you love Southern rock, country, like that country rock sound,
they nail it.
They nail it, man. They nail it.
It's kind of like a nice change up from Skynyrd. If you're down with Lynyrd Skynyrd, you're like, hey man, let me check that. And it's different. but it's definitely in that same genre. But
yeah, and
guys are killers.
The guitar work is. Don't know so much now. We could go and listen to some of their newer stuff, but at least from what we heard tonight, highly recommend.
Absolutely.
So if you guys have any recommendations of records that me and Phil need to check out, let us know. You can drop them in the comments if you're on YouTube. If not, go to Instagram, Facebook at JWCreates. You can also send me an email. That's info@jwcreates.com. We would love to hear some different ideas, some albums that we need to look at. If we need to check out these other albums, let us know and force us to come back into the studio and listen to some new music.
Oh, yeah.
Twist our arms.
Yeah,
we'll do it.
No.
And then, yeah, if you have any other ideas, questions, thoughts, ideas.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
Yeah. And then lastly, we would love a review. If you're on Spotify or Apple, give us 5 stars. Tell us what you think about the show. You can also leave some recommendations there as well. We'd love to hear it. Yeah, that's all the stuff, isn't it?
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, that's all for now. And we'll be back with some new music, some new cover art on the next one.
Bye, you guys.